Hello, I'm Jodie from Tales of Cloth, and today we're making our last EPP block for the Red Sky at Night quilt, Victorian Maze. And we've moved back from huge pieces to really little ones. So the first thing we're going to do is make our little X's. Now when you're working with pieces this small, you can end up with some of the shapes looking like they overhang a bit because the amount of extra width that the fabric has added is proportionally quite big. So just line it up on all sides to get the most accurate join possible, and then stitch it along the seam. Once you've sewn your two halves, join them together, lining up the center seams first. Once you've sewn all your X's together, lay it out to make it really easy to sew the next steps. Because the first thing we're going to do is sew these into rows. And then we'll sew the rows together. So just start by grabbing your first two shapes and stitching them together. And then keep adding shapes to the row until you get to the end. One of the reasons I like laying it out before stitching it together is that it makes it much easier to make sure that you sew the two right seams to each other. It would be terrible to open this up and realize that you'd sewn it together like that. So I always start with it out flat, especially with shapes like this with lots of edges, and fold them over in a way so that they're right sides together, and you know that the two seams that you want to sew together are the ones that you've lined up. Once you've sewn your rows together, we're just going to sew them to each other. We'll start at the top here, line up these two seams. Sewing the rows together involves a lot of moving around and wrangling, and so I recommend just adding a couple of extra stitches once you get to a corner before moving and folding this shape in place to line up the next seams. Okay, there's my last EPP block in the Red Sky at Night quilt, Victorian Maze. If you'd like to stitch Red Sky at Night with us, head to the shop and grab the pattern and the EPP kit. I'll link it below. Thank you so much for watching.